watching Morning at NTV.
Thank you so much for keeping it on Morning at NTV. Of course, we know that the spillover from Kenya after the violence that erupted there on Monday has already affected the business community and the passengers from Uganda. So that's why I'm here at Namaiba bus terminal to understand the gravity of the effect of this matter, the violence we saw in Kenya. Of course, I'm speaking to Chitonsa Musa from Baska. There's a bus that has just entered here from Kenya, but I also speak to Jemba Mulondo Kanakulia, who is the deputy spokesperson of Kasita, to understand. Let me begin with Kasita. How were you affected by the violence that happened yesterday? Because we know that some people come from Uganda, come from Kenya to bring in goods and take goods to Kenya.
First and foremost, I would like to say good morning to everyone watching NTV this morning. We cannot underestimate the gravity of what has happened since the eruption of the demonstrations by supporters of former candidate for the presidency in Kenya, that is Mr. Raila Odinga. We cannot really underestimate it until we realize how much Uganda needs Kenya and how much Kenya needs Uganda. Kenya is our second best trading partner after China. That can show you the kind of monster in economy Kenya is, not only to Uganda but also the EAC. Kenya is importing 831 from Uganda. No, Uganda is importing 831 worth of millions of dollars every year and exporting 467 to 470 million US dollars to Kenya. That is the importance of Kenya's partnership in Uganda's economic landscape. However, when we look at the disruptions that have happened since the demonstration started, we have seen, you can see the bus park is empty. Very few buses are crossing into Uganda. If you went to the borders, very few vehicles are entering Kenya. Likewise, very few vehicles are crossing into Uganda. That shows you how important and what the situation can really be. We cannot forget that being in the EAC as a regional bloc, Kenya is the biggest economy in the East and Central Africa, among the first 5 best performing economies on the African continent. But
what are you going to do about this situation that we see already affecting the traders from Ugandan side?
We can only advise for now. We can only advise Ugandan importers importing from Kenya to be cautious when traveling to Kenya. Where possible, they should even stop until such a time when we are sure that everything is okay. That aside, we can go ahead and advise people having containers at the port of Mombasa. If security is not guaranteed, we'll rather have our containers stay in the port because we are sure of security once the containers remain in the port.
As I turn to...
If we dare take on the road and allow our agents to clear goods, anything that happens, no one is going to take responsibility, not even insurance companies.
Okay. I want to turn to Wana Musa here, but finally from you, are you going to engage the Kenya Postal Authority over this matter?
Definitely. We are trying to have reached out to the liaison office, that is resident representative of Kenya Port Authority in the country. We would like to sit down and discuss what would be the best way forward for Ugandan goods and the cargo still in the port of Mombasa, without daring and risking to take on the road, which might end up losing, where might end up losing cargo and money which has been invested into this, the consignments. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Jemba Mulondo Kanakulia, who is the deputy spokesperson of Kampala's Capital City Traders Association. Kanzewa Wana Musa kubanga akwasaganya ensonga za bus eziva wano Uganda okudde Kenya. Olunaku lw'eggulo sooka otuweemu ekifaananyi kyabadde kitya, abantu batambudde, baasi zagenze Kenya?
Kutwaliza awamu baasi nja kugamba nti zagenze naye era nga si engendo eya bulijjo era ffe kyatukosezza olw'ensonga nti twali tusobola okusindika baasi bbiri olunaku naye olunaku olwajjo twasindise baasi emu ate nga n'okujjula tejjudde. Amasimu ge nasobola okufuna jjo gabadde gakusazaamu ngendo ku buli kasitoma waffe yenna. Nze sikyagenze ndi kamala okwetegereza ensonga, sikyagenze kamala okwetegereza ensonga, ate nga n'abali eri nabo nga basazaamu ezijja eno. Kale kwegamba okutwaliza wamu twakusebbwamu kinene.
Okay, kati bwogerageranya mubadde mutwala baasi bbiri nga zijjudde, kati mwatutenemu nga tejjudde nga kumpi ya kitundu. Kitegeeza ki eri bizinesi mu kananga ogamba nti mwakoze loosi? Kyanyigiza kyenkana ki?
Kati bizinesi ebezze emabega kubanga baasi kubanga tubadde tusobola okutwala baasi bbiri ate nga tusobodde tutwala baasi emu nga tejjudde nakujjula, kitegeeza nti tusaliddwa kinene essebo.
Kati obulawangu bannakenya bagamba bali abayikalakasa bagamba buli mande bagenda kubanga bakikola. Kino mwenga abatambuze n'abantu abantu baffe nga balina mu kutya baasi zammwe ziri ku risk okubanga zigenda munaku ngeezo za mandies. Nti mwena mwinange gye mugenda okwagalganyamu abakulembeze abawano n'abeeri ba transport abawano n'abeeri okulaba nga embeera eno wabawo ekikolebwa mu mbeera eno wansi w'omukago gwa East Africa.
Okay, kati twabadde tusobola okukiteekateeka boogeraganyemu ng'abakulu n'abakulu bo tulabe nga tusalibwa ku magezi kubanga ekintu kino bwe kigenda mu maaso bwe kityo kiba kitikosa kinene nnyo nfe ng'eggwanga ne kampuni awakutwaliza wamu.
Webale nnyo Bwana Musa. Musa ni ddala?
Kitonsa
Musa. Kugeraganya mpozi nga nzirayo mu studio. Olwaleero mwatandise okufunayo booking abantu abeetegefu oba abamu bagamba tusobola tulindeko embeera tulabe nga bwetambula.
Kaakati era okwongereza ku kyajjo olwaleero buzigenda okutuuka essaawa bwe ziti tuli mu ssaawa 3 naye zibadde zigenda okutuuka essaawa bwe ziti nga nfunye abantu ababeera nga 10 bembuukinze naye kati nakafuna omuntu ogwo ate ngera munnakenya agenda bugenzi, kitegeeza nti abawano bo bakyatidde okugenda buli omu agakasooke neetegereza embeera ndabe bwe neebeeteredde nga ŋŋenda newankubadde bali bo bagambye nti olunaku lwa mande lwokka naye era abantu tebanaba kusiga nnyo mazima gaabali baga nti bayinza okwekyusa ne bakola ng'ebya 2007 byali. Kale kati bwe buzibu bwe tukyafunye obwo.
Kati by'ebyentambula ebisale bikyali wansi bikyali byebimu?
Ebisale tetunabyongeza bye bya bulijjo, emitwalo giri 8 ordinary ne 10 executive.
Webale nnyo Kitonsa Musa omukwanaganya wa Basika eno ezimu ku baasi ezeolekera olugendo oluva Uganda kudda Kenya. He is saying that usually they take 2 buses each day as Basika company to Nairobi, Kenya, but because of the disruptions that happened yesterday, they were able to travel just by 1 bus, and that bus was not filled to capacity, just went past 10 p.m. and usually they leave by 3 p.m. This is a great effect considering to what they always earn on a daily. Stephen Imbido and Fefe Soechibuga will now be taking you back to Priscilla Regina Naroga, who is in the studios with other experts to delve much into this discussion on the violence that we saw in Nairobi, Kenya, our neighbors. Back to you, Priscilla.
Thank you so much, Stephen Bide, for that. And it's protests, not violence. But nevertheless, this should give us a picture of if this is what's happening in Uganda as far as trade and transport is concerned. It could be the same reflected within the neighboring countries to Kenya. Same case being for Tanzania, could be for Rwanda, South Sudan, and maybe Burundi in terms of trade and transport. Now, that's definitely a